might start us off. Just reports, over in Aussie that on your contract, can you confirm to me when you're signed on with the Phoenix?
I've got another year on my contract, so obviously that was all subject to licensing. That was in the contracts with most of our players, so moving forward I've got another year on my contract.
Another year, so at the end of next season?
Yes.
Yeah, and do you look long term further than that to stay with the Phoenix at all?
Look, I think the most important thing is we have a good season this year. We're already building for next season with the players that we've signed, and yeah, look, we'll always come back to that at some stage, but for me the focus is on having a good season so far and continuing that the way that we're going, and like that I don't think too far ahead. As I take it game by game as well. So for me, look, I'd love to stay here. I think we're building something very good here, building good foundations. So most important thing is we get through this season first.
Absolutely. And just on the loss, how have you sort of hurt the boys up this week? Has it been difficult?
No, the boys are good. I think the boys are disappointed with the result, but I think footballing wise, again, I think we played some really good football. For me, it was a missed opportunity. I think we should have walked away with 3 points, especially in the first half with the opportunities that we created. So the boys are disappointed, but it's a short turnaround. Another game tomorrow, so just prepare for Newcastle.
It must create hunger for this Friday.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's look, it's never good to lose, but for me it's good. The games come around pretty quick, a shorter week, so the preparation's been ramped up, and look, Newcastle are not an easy team as well. They played in the grand final a couple of years ago, and they got some very experienced players, and a team doesn't become a bad team overnight. So it's a game that we need to be very well prepared for, and go out there and do the job.
Excellent. How much of a blow is it having Maddie suspended for this one?
Yeah, that's why we have the depth in the team. Maddie's played a very good role for us, and it was going to happen at some stage during the season. So he did well to get this far on 4 yellows. Look, and that's why we brought in Brandon Wilson as well, and we still have Teatify to play in that role. And if we really need to change things, we can also put Tim Payne in there. So the depth is there in the squad, and that's why you have the players. And these are opportunities for players when they step in.
Is Ruth ready to play for the reserves yet?
Yeah, Ruth is ready to get some game time with the reserves. So he's done a full week last week, and he's doing a full week this week as well. So for me, it's important that he gets game time.
But no temptation to rush him back for this one?
And we'll see what we do tomorrow.
Okay, in terms of deciding between Brandon and Teatify, are you happy with the amount of minutes they've both got, because they've kind of barely played this season?
Yeah, that's why it's so important. I think when Brandon first came in, to get some minutes in the legs, to get some sort of foundation, and he's been training with the group, and T's the same. T at time has played with the reserve team as well, and it's sometimes a little bit difficult with the scheduling when the reserve team plays and when we play. When the boys don't get game time, I like sending the boys down to get minutes in their legs, but last couple of weeks has been unfortunate with the scheduling, but look, it is what it is, and they'll go out there and they'll do a job.
So Brandon is ready to start?
Yeah, both of them are ready to start. Just need to make a decision on who will start.
What will kind of dictate that decision?
Obviously, how the opposition set up, what type of players they have as well, and what I think is the best team on the day to get the result.
Because I guess against the bottom of the table team, is this as good a week of any to give one of those two a run?
Yeah, I don't look at it that way. I don't look at the table. I look at the quality that the opposition has and the strengths that they have. So, I don't look at the table. The table can be deceiving at times for me, because I think Newcastle are actually a good team that can actually hurt you as well. They've played some really good games and haven't got results. So for me, it's most important that we focus on what we need to do to get the result.
And Melbourne Victory announced last night the signing of Marco Rojas. Do you regret not making a move there?
No, not at all, no.
Why is that?
Well, it wasn't in our plans moving forward and what we wanted to do, and look, at the end of the day, players will go to clubs where they feel comfortable, and I think he's been there previously, so I think it was an easy decision for him to go there.
Because I guess as a New Zealand international and someone who's been a Johnny Warren medalist, is he a player the Phoenix should be getting? I mean, he's the kind of difference that could make you a title contender.
Yeah, look. The most important thing is the players will come and go, coaches will come and go as well. Wellington Phoenix will always be here. So for me, we're trying to create a good foundation of some good players, some good young players moving forward. And look, at this stage, it didn't fit into our plans moving forward. So that's the reason we didn't go down that path.
Is that more you've just got the because you do have a lot of attacking options, you just happy with what you've got there?
Well, the thing is, like I said, I think he's a great player. I think he's going to add a lot of value to Melbourne victory. And for me, look, at the end of the day, it's not just about bringing in players for the sake of bringing in players. It's players that fit into what we want to do as well.
And in terms of David Ball, he obviously returned on the weekend. Is he ready to start?
Yeah, he's good. He's all good. He got through a full week. We'll train today as well. So yeah, he's all good to go.
And no other injury concerns or anything?
No, not at this stage. Just Walter Scott has got a bit of an injury, but so he'll get his scan today. So we'll see how he is as well.
Short turnaround. What's the fatigue level like for the regulars?
Yeah, good. The boys are good. We've managed them well this week. So for me, his most important players are fresh for the game, so it was a short turnaround. We had a bit of a hefty delay on the way back from our last game from Brisbane. But the boys are good, boys are fresh, and they're ready to go.
Amongst the stats last week against Brisbane, 34 crosses and 12 corners that you couldn't get in the net. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was one of those days. We hit the crossbar twice. There was one, I think, even after Brisbane scored, where Hoops went across the face of goal. It was just one of those days where we weren't clinical enough in front of goal. Because I think if we were clinical, especially in the first half, it could be a 2-3-0 game for us, and walk away with 3 points. But it's one of those games where you play well and you don't get rewarded for your performance. And for me, the longer these teams like Brisbane they stay in the game, they're going to create opportunities, and they got the one opportunity and they scored from it. So, like I said, it's disappointing the result, but footballing wise, I'm very happy with the way the boys performed.
It was around this time last year where rumours circulated around a homesick coach. How have you and the family settled in Wellington?
Family's all good. Family's all good. We're enjoying it here. I'm enjoying working at Wellington Phoenix. Like I said, I've come in and tried to build a great foundation with some young players and build a foundation not just for this season but moving forward. And I think the club is a great club, and we've got full support of everybody. With the board, and I appreciate the efforts and energy they've put into where we want to go and what direction we want to head. So, I'm very happy where I am at this stage, and look, still a long way to go in the season. So my focus is to get where we want to get to at the end of the season.
You're saying that Newcastle is playing some good football. Possibilities that you might see Wes and Nigel set up for them finally. Do structures change for you there, and how do you attack that?
No, we'll still play the way we play. We'll find solutions in our philosophy, in our principles as well. So, but look, they've got some good attacking players up front that can hurt you with Petrados and the Panamanian boy Arroyo up front as well. So, they've got some good firepower as well. And our job is to, obviously, when we don't have the ball, to defend and be compact and nullify them from creating goals through opportunities. And for us to be clinical in front of goal this tomorrow evening. So, for me, we focused on what we need to do with the ball, and also defensively when we don't have the ball, what we need to do at times.
As someone that I have no idea, how do you get more clinical in front of goal? Is that just a mental thing, or percentages knowing that it's going to happen at some stage, or how do players feel about that?
The players are good. Like, we work on that, and it just comes down to the finishing at the time, and we do it at training, and we constantly work on it at training. So it's one of those ones where when it sits well on the foot, it hits the back of the net. There was a couple of shots that we've had. Cal had a shot that if I think it was on target, he would have scored. Ulysses in the first half as well. Hoops with a header, and it's one of those things. At the end of the day, you're playing against an opposition that are good players as well. So for me, it's just we create, which is most important, because if you're not creating, then we have problems. But we're creating a lot of chances. It's just about putting the ball in the back of the net.
And after last week's game, you're pretty happy with the way that you played, except for the converting of the goals, obviously. So is there something in particular you would like to see this week?
More goals. More goals. I'd like to see more goals. I like us to, the opportunities that we create, I like to see the ball go into the back of the net.